Salam and welcome to UAE.
Thank you.
First of all, many congratulations for the achievements of the Roshans and the book. I did it my way. So, sir, how did you came for making the legacy of the Roshans?
Over 8 9 years back, there was an instrument which had a compilation of 9 to 10,000 songs of all the great music directors and lyric writers and filmmakers and actors. And so I wanted to hear my father's songs. So when I saw my father's name was not there,
Mm-hmm.
and none of his songs were there in these 10,000 songs. So I felt my father gave such good music.
Yeah.
His compositions were so from his heart. So I rang up the company. I said, I think by mistake, I think you all must have left his name out
Mm-hmm.
or his songs. I was just look into it. But they didn't revert back to me. And that I was feeling uneasy inside that
Mm-hmm.
how come this happened? So I was narrating this to Shashi 3 years back. कि ऐसा हुआ शशि तो शशि said इसमें बुरा मानने की कोई बात नहीं है इट्स देयर लॉस यू मेक अ डॉक्यूमेंट्री ऑफ हिम
Mm-hmm.
I said yes that's a good idea.
So
So
the idea came up from the Shashi sir.
yeah, that's to make a documentary on that. So then after 3 days, 4 days, when I thought over it, then I told Shashi, my father's music, he left us 60 years back. Will today's generation connect? They might not. So why not make on all the three Roshans?
Yeah.
On me, on my brother Rajesh Roshan and Ritik Roshan. So through us, they'll connect. We can connect the people to my father.
To my father.
And then he took over from there. He said, yes, this is a very good idea. And then he started researching, and then you could ask him.
So was that easy for you to bring up this documentary?
Easy in the sense, I mean, you don't work like this that is it going to be easy or difficult. It's the passion of a project which drives you to do things, and especially a project like this, because it's unconventional. It is not a conventional cinema or storytelling. So I had this passion. I had a passion for his father's music, and I was close to Guduji, so his persona. Then, as the research started, the family started coming very close to me, and we kind of bonded very, very strongly. So, if you see that bond and that love and affection which people are actually lapping it up, it is because this got generated over the period while this whole thing was being made. And the story was so powerful because it was a story of a common man's struggle to get his due in this world. And the work part was exceptionally good. So I didn't have to do anything. I just had to present it as is.
Yeah.
But yeah, my effort of bringing their personal story and weaving it into their work is an interesting combination which we somehow worked very well, and that's what people are liking, that there is beautiful work and there's a beautiful human story.
Okay.
I'd like to,
Yeah.
can I intervene
Yeah,
and
yeah,
say
please.
something?
Yes, please.
I'd like to say a few things about Shashi and Rakesh ji. I have known Shashi for about 45 years, and I have been observing and watching him. He is a passionate person. He has ideas all, and we've been bouncing ideas back and forth about a lot of things. I mean, that's how the IT award started and the other things that followed. But he has been very passionate about this thing. I think he started his career with the Shotgun Show, and then he had Makings of a Legend, where he had this thing in his mind from for a very long time that there is no documentation of our legends like Raj Kapoor, Dilip Kumar,
Yeah,
Devanand, Lata Mangeshkar, Rafi. There's nothing. There's no documentation. And he has been passionate about doing something with, otherwise there's nothing left behind for people to see. And I have been observing him and that he's been involved every time I talk to him. क्या कर रहा है? कहता है, यार, I'm working on this project, I'm working on this project. I mean, giving an example, I don't know whether I should mention it. I think we are talking about the Meena Kumari project, which he worked on, and he has documents with Tajdar Amrohi to make a complete documentary on Meena Kumari. Then he had other ideas of making a documentary about this Mr. Nirav Modi, which he had in his mind to do. And he had these ideas of doing this, but he wanted a niche to find it, somebody to do it. And he has always been a visionary from that angle to do these things, and it is passion in him. And I think that passion led him to this point where in discussion, like Guddu said and like Shashi said, that this happened and this connected and it just happened. So I think this was in his mind for a very long time to do something.
No, I was confident about the genre, that this genre needs to be recognized in our country because there is none. And it so happened that Roshan Saab's music was not new to me. I knew his music by heart. I was an admirer of him. And then moment we started getting into the legacy of the three generation, then it became more interesting and the more facts started emerging. And that's how it was. Yeah, but I was sure of one thing, that if something is told on these cinema greats, there is always a space in our country where people would love to watch and see.
All right. So what has been the most rewarding experience in your career?
What is it?
What has been the most rewarding experience in your career?
It's difficult to say that, but every step was a rewarding experience because failures teach you a lot.
Yeah.
So I started my career with failures and then took one step ahead and moved forward.
So like both of you, one filmmaker and director working together. So how was the experience?
No, I am a filmmaker of films.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about documentaries, how to make a documentary.
Okay.
Because it's a different ball game. He had the idea. He has the knowledge of to make documentary. So when I saw some of the podcasts, when he showed it to me, I found it very interesting because the way he asks questions and detailed, research. So I had full faith in him that Shashi will do full justice.
All right. And Ritik's debut film, Kaho Na Pyar Hai, how was it challenging for you to work with him for the first time?
No, he being my son, he assisted me for 4 or 5 years and he worked very hard for it. It's not that it not was easy, just a cakewalk. He did his acting school not once, the same school he joined thrice. Then he learned Hindi, then he learned Urdu, then he learned how to speak dialogues. Then he had a lot of setbacks. He used to stutter a lot. So he used to read newspapers in the morning at 6 o'clock in English and Hindi, the front pages for 1 hour loudly, so that he overcomes this stuttering.
So reading newspaper helped him a lot?
Yes, it helps.
Oh.
So he did. He still works, keeps working for any project he does. It's not that मैं बन गया तो हो गया, so easy है. No. Even for people come to me, यार परसों मेरे घर में पार्टी है तो ऋतिक को बोला डांस कर लेगा आके, कि हम यहाँ शो कर लेते हैं. अरे मैं बोला उसको टाइम लगता है. अरे उसको क्या टाइम लगता है? But you won't believe that any show he does on stage also, he practices for 1 month. He rehearses. So that's why you'll see that amongst all the other dancers, his movement is about the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is your favorite film that you have worked on and why?
I worked on and why? Well, let's talk about Roshan. Roshan is my favorite at the moment.
All right.
And why you know why?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's a story of a great story of a great family.
Yeah. So, what are your upcoming projects?
I'm working on Krish 4, and I think we will announce it very soon.
All right.
So, looking forward for the announcement.
And sir, what would you like to say about the book?
My book is basically a story of, it's not about I, me, myself, like all the other autobiographies. It's basically a book about the mistakes a man makes in his life and what is the cause and effect of that. And I have made so many mistakes in my life which has affected the lives of all my people, my wife, my children, my relationships, my business friends, my partners, my friends, that and it has affected them for life. I cannot undo what I have done, and I have made a lot of mistakes which has affected my children, my wife, my relationships, and my business and everything. And I have that is what I want to talk about through my book and through my podcast, and tell them, the viewers and the people who are reading, to see that they should not make these mistakes in their life, because I have made mistakes on an impulse, on a decision, which has caused the effect on a rippled effect on my children and my relations, my parents, and everybody, because I took those impulsive decisions at that time, being young, not realizing, and I was thinking only of myself and not the consequences of what my children will face if I take this step, for example, of leaving the marital home or leaving my wife or moving on, and what the cause and effect of being ostracized from society because I've taken that step. And I was ostracized from society not once, not twice, but maybe 3 or 4 times, because I made these mistakes not once, but 3 or 4 times in my relationships. And that caused a lot of ripple effect. But I learned to survive that and learn from it. And then eventually reached a stage where I said that it's very easy to find mistakes in others to break a relationship and say that no, वो ठीक नहीं थी इसलिए मैंने ये किया. But it is basically when you look into yourself and introspect, you realize that the fault lies in you. And that realization came to me, and I thought that, I must put this out to the people who are at my stage, who are still looking for answers, that they should not make mistake, because they must think before they decide to take a drastic step of leaving, for example, your wife, or breaking up a home. What would be the cause of what would be the effect on the children? What it would be effect on your friends, in your social circle, in your business? And I have faced all that, and I have lived with it, and that's what I have brought out. My business success, or my movies which I made or released, is not the mainstream of this book. It's about the mistakes, and that is what I'm trying to put across in that book. But since I said I did it my way, I did swim against the tide. I did things the way I thought at that time was mine, because I was selfish and I thought only about myself, not what it would do to my near and dear ones, my family, my children, my parents, my friends. But the fault eventually lied with me, and I wanted to accept that fault and put it out there to my family, children, that I'm at fault for whatever has happened. And that takes a lot of guts to do, because we all like to put all our dirt under the carpet. And we all have skeletons in our cupboards. But I decided to speak it out and say that, and I think that's what has really, I'm getting the feedback that has worked, that you've been bold enough to say what you feel, because it's very difficult for a man to admit the mistakes he's made in his life. It's very easy to talk about your success or whatever you are now, but that is what we've all come from middle class backgrounds, all of us, and we've all struggled in our own way, like Gudu has, like Shashi has, like I have. But we had opportunities, and we have to grab opportunities when they come to you and recognize them. And when you recognize those opportunities and take them and take the plunge, and then you work towards it, like Shashi has, like Rakesh has, and they have taken opportunities and grabbed them and taken it and finally found their niche. Like Guduji started off as an actor. That was when his father died, and he was, I think, very young. And like he said, that the day my father died, he became from a boy to a man,
Man.
right? And these are things that happens to you in life. I mean, Shashi came from a Haryana, from a small town, Bhiwani, to become an actor. And eventually they all tried different things, and like me, they tried different things and eventually found a niche. He became an actor, worked as an actor. Maybe it didn't work that much for him. Then he started making films and then found his niche in directing films. And that's where he found his success. And that's where he today will be written in history as a legend of movie makers and a director. Same way with Shashi. Shashi started off with, with TV serials, with movies. He tried his hand at making movies and directing movies and finally found that. But I found a passion in him which he never let go. And then when he did the IT awards for 25 years, he's been doing, and he's been a success with Anu. They make a great team. And then the Beti Foundation, the Women Achievers Awards, and the ITS School of Acting. He has done so much in his life and succeeded in everything he's done. But somewhere deep inside, knowing Shashi, he had this, I would call it a kida, to do something of his passion. And I think he found his passion and his niche now with the Roshan, which is showing today. It's showing on screen what he has done as a great job. And that's where I think he's found his passion. And I'm so happy for him, being his friend and being Gudu's friend, that they have finally found this recognition. And as far as his father is concerned, when I saw the movie series, I didn't know that these songs all were composed by Roshanji. Now Roshanji was such a great music director. I didn't know that this song was his. Same way with Rajesh Roshan. When they showed his episode, it was, I didn't know that these songs belonged.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were underplayed and they were the underdogs of the music industry, because at that time only Kalyanji Anandji and Shankar Jaikishan and Lakshmikant Pyarelal were named. But Roshans and Rajesh Roshan were legends of their own, and they always were underplayed. And this is what this Roshans has done for them, to brought out as, अरे ये रोशन जी का गाना था, ये राजेश रोशन का गाना था. And also his work, what he has done, was overshadowed by a lot of other things because the bigger stars came in. So all this has been brought out in the open, and people have now realized that, yeah, Rakesh Roshan was something, Rajesh Roshan was this, and Roshanji was this, and his son is this. And it's the basic culture of his bringing up. I think he and his wife Pinky, who have brought up Ritik with the culture, with the courtesy, with the behavior. He's not like another star son, behaving in this fancy manner that I'm a star. He still takes care of his father and mother and family. They're very close knit family, and I'm so proud that their bringing up of both the father and mother has imbibed this into Ritik, and that's what makes a man basically. So I'm so proud that I'm now associated with these people and known these people, and they finally found the success. He has found success in his movies, but Shashi has found his success in this, and I hope with my release of this book, I could find even 10% of the success they have faced. I think I've done something for somebody.
Good, very
A
good.
short message for UAE audience.
Love UAE.
Thank you so much.